What's up? Welcome to the Ninja Babes podcast. I'm here with Jennifer Stefano, and we are getting ready to talk about all things American Ninja Warrior as we prepare for season 13 in Tacoma, Washington. Yes. I'm super pumped. Jennifer, how are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on. We're going to jump into just how are we preparing? How are we feeling for the season? What was it like last season? And talk about all sorts of ninja. So thank you for being here. Can you just get us started and say, like, where are you from? How long have you been involved with Ninja Warrior? And where do you train out of?
I currently live in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's like the only part of Pennsylvania that touches the Great Lakes. I originally am from a small town 30 minutes south from here called Edinburgh, but I've been doing ninja since I was 16. I'm 20 now, but I've only had a gym for a year, and I work at Sinai Sports. I do the ninja program there along with Ryan Sanders. And yeah, it's so much fun.
Awesome. I love seeing so many of your training videos because I remember when I met you like a long time ago that like just to see your progress and see how much you've grown as a ninja and your skill, it's like really amazing. So it's cool.
Yeah,
It's so cool to see.
it's crazy how having a gym like changes your training so much because we had stuff at Ryan's house to train on, but it's nothing compared to a gym.
Yeah, like actually being able to set up obstacles and courses and like
Yeah.
there's just so much room to like set up and stretch out. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. Um, Before we keep going, there's just be careful your mic. I can hear like the cords a lot.
The chords.
So yeah, like when you move around. So
Okay.
just just be mindful, I guess, not to like whack it. It'll be fine. Okay. So I wanted to kind of jump into last year to start off. So last year, American Ninja Warrior 12 was your first rookie season on the show, correct?
Yes.
How did that feel? How did it feel to get the call? And what did it feel like going into your first season?
It was kind of like very hectic going into it because all the calls went out originally, and Ryan and I got a call together, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're going together. Like, it's so crazy. He actually knew that I was getting the call because Peter had told him. And so that's why he got the recording of me getting the call because Peter was like,
I
call
love
me
it.
when she's in a quiet spot. Like, we'll surprise her. And so he got his call, and I was like, I didn't give up, but I was like, Ryan, like, it's okay. Like, I'm probably not going to get it. Like, I'm really happy for you, though. And he had to play it off. And then I got it, and then they had to recast it, and I got it, and he didn't. But it was insane. Like, it was my first time competing without him, actually. So flying out by myself, going and competing. And then this year was also just, I didn't think it was going to happen how it was going to happen, but it did.
It did. Oh man. Oh, wow. That's it's so cool to be able to compete. It's also hard when like you have a significant other who's also a ninja and it's like, will I get it and he get it? Or like, will we both
Yeah,
get it?
it's
Like,
so tough.
yeah. So how many seasons did you apply before you actually got on to A&W?
So last year was my first year applying because Cincinnati, I would have just turned 19, like just like the date of filming, like 2 days earlier, I would have just turned 19. So I didn't apply that year. So last year was my first time applying, and I got on, which was crazy. I really didn't expect it. And then this was my second year applying.
A lot of people will ask me like, what did you say in your submission video or like, how did you get on or whatever? And of course, like for me personally, I talk a lot about Ninja Babes and just like my whole perspective with um, mindset, but also just like what I've been through in my journey of growing my own self-confidence, realizing how ninja has been so empowering, and then more recently explaining my whole story with my shoulder dislocation and like blah blah, like not blah blah blah, but like that goes on and on.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was wondering for you, what do you feel like it was that made you stand out in your submission video?
I think how I really paid attention how I formatted it, because like when you watch your favorite TV show on Netflix or like anything, your favorite YouTuber, how you cut it and splice it and how you speak to the camera really matters. So you really want to draw them in from the beginning, because they do watch your whole video, but you want to catch their attention from the beginning. So I usually do like, or the past 2 times I've done a really like energetic introduction, and then I go straight into like some really awesome training clips. And then on, I go over my story and stuff and add some more training stuff, and then I finish it up and wrap it up with talking at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's excellent. I think the other thing that I've always read, I read every single year that sheet that they kind of put out there of like advice. If you like read the whole like homepage on the application, there's like a little link for like advice.
Yeah.
And I know they want high energy. And so that is something that I think about a lot in my video. I'm like, how can I express just how very excited I am, and like no like timidness, just like you said, like right how you start the video is like, here I am, like I'm Cara Mack, like hello, like I'm so
Yes.
excited. And so I think that's something I think about a lot. And even just how you end it. I think like how you start it and like that last impression, those first and the last is like very
Super
important.
important. Yeah, I actually, this is super cheesy, but going into like when they first announced that they're opening applications, I'll like start brainstorming how I want to like format my video, and I'll practice talking in front of my mirror. So I'll just like think of how I want to introduce myself, and I'll just practice it by myself in front of the mirror and make sure I'm energetic and all that stuff.
Totally. No, I do the same thing. I mean, even even for A&W, I'm like, what do I want to do on the starting block? Like, I don't want to get there and just like freeze or like be like, because
Yeah.
the producers also they want to see your energy on the course too. And so, not that I'm like planning out every reaction, but it's like, okay, Kara, like, don't be afraid to like smile and wave, but like jump up and down and like be
Be
excited and
yourself,
whatever.
and
Be
yeah.
yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. I know, there's people who've like sung their whole submission videos. There's people who like they try to set up like one whole course that they'll do like a speed course or like throughout their whole video. And I think there's just creative ways to like present yourself. And definitely it's like, how do you feel most comfortable? What speaks the most to your skill and your personality? I think those two things like really go hand in hand. So.
Yeah, I like really focused on, because everyone like is the same and different in so many ways, but I want to make myself stand out, and I'm not just not another female that's hitting the course. Like, you want to stand out and be yourself, but also show like all of your skills and how strong you are along with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So then last year for season 12, how did you feel on the course and throughout your actual competition run? What were your expectations going into it? And did that match your expectation at the end of the night?
Oh my gosh. So going in, I was on Lucas Realities, and I remember how to say Matt's last name. Matt, I don't know how to say his last name. But anyways, I was on their team, and I was actually super duper grateful that I had them, because going in alone would have been terrifying. And I went in with no expectations, because that's what Lucas told me to do. He's like, go in, do your best. It's your rookie year. Like, that you don't have a standard right now. Like, you don't have somewhere where how far you got that you have to beat. And I just went in and did my best. Honestly, I kind of blacked out most of it. I don't I don't remember a lot of it. I remember hitting the platform off the first obstacle, and then I got hung up on off the hook pretty bad. I couldn't get the ring off of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not falling here. I can't fall here. I remember thinking that, and I could hear Lucas. I couldn't hear my family for some reason, but I heard Lucas like yelling to me, and like he's like, up then off, and I was like, okay. And then I finally got off, but I spent so much time on that obstacle. I got really pumped out. I was totally over gripping. Like, I just wanted to get off of it and finish that obstacle. And then when I got to the beehives, it was kind of just a new obstacle that I've never been on before. It's similar to wing nuts, but since like the holds are different, it was a little weird. So the first one was more of a jug. So you jumped up and it was shaped like this. And I was like, oh, I'm fine. And then the second one was a grip. I'm sorry. Yes, the first one was a jug. The second one was more of like a cliffhanger grip. It was a little bit tinier. When I caught it, I was like, whoo, okay. And I got it around and I finally turned around, got it hung up there, and I started swinging and I was like, uh-oh, I'm pumped. And then it was just the last move. The grips were like this, and I didn't get my hand far enough over, and I fell.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I mean, congratulations for how far you got and for making it on the show. It's like no matter how far you get, you've made some sort of accomplishment. And so it's awesome to hear how you did. I didn't realize actually that the grips on the honeycombs were like different like that. So
Yeah, it
interesting.
added a whole extra flair to it. It was
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah. Was it hard to spin it around in the center there?
I thought it was really hard to spin around because when I got on it, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't turn this around. And I think it was all about, I just came in wrong. I came straight down onto it, and a lot of people had their hips ready to go around. So I had like the dead weight of coming down onto it and then had to fiddle with it to get around. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Like if you've got your legs, like if you come into it more extended, you have more of that like pendulum to like go around as long as you're like expecting it basically. As
Yeah.
long as you're ready to like
I
let
kind of
yourself
forgot,
go.
to be honest, when I got there. I was
Yeah.
so like out of it.
Yeah, that's fair. So then okay, fell there. Were you able to advance on after that or that was your run? That was
that
your whole
that was it.
okay.
Yeah. I
Awesome.
didn't really
Yeah.
expect to move on. I didn't, because I got so hung up. It took me such a long time. But it was, when I hit the water, I was just like, wow, that's it. I was like, I'm done. That's crazy. I was happy with my run though. Like getting to the third
Yeah.
as a rookie, like I wasn't upset. I looking at it like as a whole course, like when we went over rules, I was like, I feel like I could do this. Like the whole course
Yeah.
played to my strengths, but then
Hmm.
it's a matter of how it's put together, and yeah.
Exactly. What would have been your agility obstacle then for number 4?
Broken bridge. I think that's what it's
Broken Bridge.
called.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah,
balls.
like the ball the okay. Yeah, yeah.
Is that
Because there's
what it's
also
called?
there's the one that I think it's called Broken Bridge. I'd have to look back, but there's the one where it's like the panels that are upright like
Oh
this and you like
yeah.
run across the
I
top.
would want that
The
this year if I
Yeah, because now we get to choose.
Yeah.
Right? So that's so crazy. I keep wondering, like, is it going to be two very different types of like the balance
Oh my
agility
gosh.
obstacles?
I don't even want to
I'm
think
very
about it.
curious.
I like
Last night, oh, I was gonna say last night I was trying to fall asleep and I couldn't fall asleep and I just kept thinking about like different types of agility obstacles. And I was like, maybe they'll have like the ribs, you know, like that one where it's like you have to run and they go like back and forth, or they'll have like that giant ball one that you're talking about.
yeah,
Because that's very different when it's like you have to be really high up on
sideways
top
or up.
and they spin. Yeah, or one is like back and forth.
Oh,
So I don't know. I just keep thinking.
agility's so 50-50 with everyone. I'm interested to see like how I think it was a great idea on the show's part to put it in, because like you get on it and then you're like you choose, and I'm assuming you can't go back. Like you choose it and then you have to go over
Right.
it. So you get there and you're like, wait, I don't want to do this anymore.
I hope not. No, okay, so I personally really like agility, but I don't want to get like cocky or be like, oh, it doesn't matter which one because I'll do them both. Like, I don't want to think that way. I'm trying to
Yeah.
just be like, take it seriously, think through my strategy. But in the past, like I've never, at least on the show, I've never had an issue with agility. In testing, there's been certain agility obstacles that have gotten me, but we'll see. Like, I don't know which ones they'll bring up.
Yeah,
So,
I'm interested to see like how they film it, because what if a dominant part of everyone that night does the same obstacle for agility and doesn't choose the other one? And like it's up to you. Like you're like, okay, well then maybe like I will get shown if I do the harder one. Like you know what I mean? Like there's that like way of, or like
yeah.
everyone freaks out. That's like amazing. She did it. Like
Yeah, no, totally. And that I think that's like you're saying it's smart for the show to think of that because it does add this element of not only like suspense and like what is she or he like what are they going to do, but it's also just more variety for when they're filming. Like not everyone's course is the exact same thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, so many thoughts.
I
It's
know.
like it's happening. Okay, so then talking more about this season, how do you feel then knowing that you're coming back is your second year? Does that change how you're feeling about going into it?
Oh yeah, I am definitely more nervous this year than last year. Everyone's like, Jen, like it's okay. However you do, you do. Like you just do your best. But now that I made it to the third once, I want to make it there or past it. Like my goal, I set a goal going into the season. I don't know if it's good that I did, but I really want to make it to finals this year. Like I really, really do, and I think I can. It's just a matter of putting it together. But now I have that pressure of, okay, I can do it. Like, I don't know. I think to calm myself down more, I've been thinking of it more of like an NNL course. Like, oh, I'm just traveling to do a course. Like, it's just a little comp. Like,
Yeah, I think it's good to think about it like it's just another comp. Like, don't hype it up too bad, But I can say from personal experience that my first year, the first night in qualifying, I made it to obstacle 5, and then the second night in city finals, I fell on the first obstacle. But I think honestly, it was like that expectation of, oh, well, now you have to clear the course, or now you have to at least
yeah,
make it to where you made it last night. And I don't, in the moment, like the next day, I remember like Zach Day and some of the people I'd been training with that season were like, were you nervous? Like what happened? And I didn't know. Like I had no answer. I was like, I don't know what happened. I just feel really crappy now. Like I don't know what happened.
yeah,
But looking back now in hindsight, like years later, I really do think that it was just so much pressure to be like, oh, well, now Kara's good. So, okay, Kara has to do really good now because
yeah,
apparently she's a really good repair. Like, apparently she could clear this. So she better. Like, I think that was in my mind somewhere.
yeah.
And then even for my second season after that in Baltimore, season 11, um, I definitely like had part of this mentality of like, all I want to do is not fall on the first obstacle and like not feel terrible. Like, I just want to make it further. And I did. But I fell in qualifying in city finals. I fell on the third obstacle, dangerous curves, which a lot of people had issues with that obstacle. But
Oh, yeah, that
I
was
didn't
a tough obstacle.
yeah, but like I still came away from that season just feeling kind of disappointed. And I didn't like that. I was like, why am I setting myself up with this expectation that I have to make it to a certain point? And then what if I'm just disappointed again? Like that ruins the experience.
Yeah.
And not that like, I don't want to say that the whole experience was like disappointing. It wasn't. Like it's still so much fun and it's still such like an amazing opportunity. So there's tons of like amazing stuff that comes out of it no matter what. But going into this season, since then I had like my shoulder surgery, I had the whole shoulder dislocation and all that. And so now coming into this season, I just feel so excited and like happy to be like here, to be alive, like to have
Yeah.
my shoulder and like to have the opportunity to go back. And I feel so thankful. And just like every day I'm like, God, like, thank you that I can do this. Like, thank you that I even
Oh,
have this
yeah.
opportunity. And so I feel like coming into this season just feels so different. And now I'm competing under Cara Mack as well, because I got married. So took
Yes.
on that name. And so it's just like a lot of like mind shifts this year. And I'm just very excited about it.
It's kind of like you're starting fresh.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. And that's what even talking to like my story producer, it's been a lot of saying like, okay, like this is new year, new season, like let's yeah, totally fresh. New shoulder, new name.
Yeah.
Like let's Yeah. So, what has been kind of like your thought process as you're training? Are you doing a lot of course runs that trying to set up like obstacles that feel similar to a qualifying course, or what's your strategy for training the past couple weeks?
I've been training more like qualifier style courses and final style courses because I like the endurance of the final style. And that's kind of where I lie. I love endurance, like obstacles and like long obstacles. But I'm also like trying to keep training for NNL because we still have regionals and finals. So like I'm trying to balance training for NNL courses and the show, which coincide, like they go together. And so I've been training more courses and I've been dead hanging a lot because who knows, I could get hung up again. So I just want to be ready for it this time. And just a lot of mental preparation. My weakest point is my mind.
Yeah. I think sometimes like I have so many things to say, but like I think sometimes even with like our mental state, it's like I've learned so much about expectation. It's like, what do you want to get out of this? And imagine like if the whole thing ended and you fell on the second obstacle, like would you be disappointed? Probably, like some amount of you would be disappointed, but would it like ruin the whole thing for you? Like
No.
what's the like what do you want to get out of it? Like do you want to just go and do your best? And so if you tried your best, then like that's your expectation and that's it. You know what I mean? Like I think trying to really ask yourself those questions of like what do I want to get out of this? What means like what is success to me? Like is it successful just that I get there, or is it only successful if I get past the third obstacle? Like challenge yourself with those questions to really help you dig deep and know like what's the bottom line. Like I think when we can get to that point, it helps us feel better about the situation in general.
Yeah.
um I also think it's crazy that you love endurance obstacles because that's my least favorite. Like the climbing endurance is my least favorite, but I
I
mean
love
obviously yeah.
I think it's like I think more Ryan made me into this person because before I hated like endurance obstacles, like anything quick to get off of, let me off. And now like he's such a like grip endurance junkie, and like so most of the courses that we do are a lot of grip and like laches to a cliffhanger, like a lot of stuff like that. And so I've just pretty much morphed into like him but a female. Like I just like because we train together, it's just gonna happen. And I think it helps though because I do mentally get scared of quick balance, but I know I'm like okay at it, like I'm good at it, but it's more of my mind, and he hates it. He hates it so much. So we've been practicing that a lot.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's so good to be able to like work together and play off of each other's strengths. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, okay. Something that me and Megan Johnson and like whoever else is there, sometimes like Angela Gargano, like whoever else is training with us, will do this burnout at the end of the night where it's like, it's a 6 cycle burnout where basically for 30 seconds you dead hang. Oh, not dead hang. I'm sorry. For 30 seconds, you hang on the bar, and instead of just dead hanging, you're trying to do like an active swing. And so
Oh
you're not trying to
gosh.
like, yeah, you're not trying to like lache full out, but you're just trying to have like a couple, I don't know, maybe a foot or two forward, a foot or two back, like an active swing on the bar for 30 seconds. Then you jump down and you rest for 30 seconds, jump back up, do it again. And I've usually been doing it in like rotations of like forward grip, mixed, mixed, this way,
Ooh.
whatever this is. But it's definitely been helping. I could see over the course of a few weeks how it hurts less and it's like less painful hanging on the
Yeah.
bar, but it's good for like what you're describing, those moments of like, okay, I am still here trying to figure out this obstacle that I got hung up on. Like it's for those moments of like, don't panic, like deep breath, like I'm still here, it's fine, like let's figure this out. So
Yeah.
it's a good one.
I definitely feel like I got off of it. I closed my eyes actually. Fun fact, I closed my eyes and hooked it on because I was like, whatever is happening right now is happening. Because
Oh,
each time I was like, oh, it's going to come off. It's going to come off this time. And then I was like, oh, it pulls me back. I closed my eyes and I just relaxed. And that's when it came off. But yeah, I feel like so many people, like Michelle Warnke, like last year, fell on the second obstacle. Different nights, like anyone can fall, obviously. But so many people fall on the second obstacle, but it doesn't define who you are as an athlete. And I have to like remind myself of that also, like because going in, you can just make a mistake, just like any NNL course, just like anything, like training in your own gym, and you're doing a course that you know you could do well on. You just make a mistake, and that's how it is. And you just have to remind yourself, hey, that's okay. Even though like it's on the big stage and you'd rather not do it there, it you have another chance. Maybe you can apply again. Like,
right. Yeah, no, I totally hear you. It's so true. It's like you never really know what's going to happen, and that's what makes it humbling.
yeah, and not
But
everyone's gonna
I
remember either. Because like I completely forgot that you fell on the first obstacle. I didn't even remember that until you said that. So it's not going to
Yeah,
stick with you forever.
exactly. Yeah. And yeah, it's just so true. And even like Michelle Warnke, like I forgot that that happened even last season because I just
Yeah,
think of her as like a whole person, and I'm like,
she's
oh
so
no, she's
strong.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been competing in a lot of other league competitions this year, like NNL or anything else?
Yeah, I pretty much only do NNL because I'm more East Coast and like that's what we have. I think I've done 12 this year already. So
Oh wow.
that's exciting. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that many this year because of COVID, but there's a lot of like at least an hour away, which isn't bad. And then the farthest we went is over to Massachusetts this year to Lucas Reale's new gym, which was super fun. But
Oh, awesome.
it was like after the NNL season started, it was kind of like, okay, let's slowly creep into this, like maybe like going far, seeing some people again because we were so locked up for so long. But obviously, very carefully doing it. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's been similar for me. Like so I got married in October, and I really even just like the couple months before that was so busy. Even though we had a small wedding, it was still a lot of planning and like I was moving and all this
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so it was a lot. But then once the fall hit and we were like making submission videos, I was like, okay, I need to train again and I need to like be in the ninja gym. But yeah, at first it was like, I'm going when I can be like with like two other people and like that's it. And I just felt so weird about it at first and I had to like
It was
really ease into
scary.
it. Yeah.
I
But
still get really freaked out, even going into, I have to take my COVID test for the show, but like even going into like work every day, I'm like, okay, like please God, like I don't want like something, like I don't want to get sick before I leave. Like I have this opportunity, like I don't want to get sick even though everything's calmed down. Like I don't want to get sick, please. Like,
oh yeah.
and I am really grateful I haven't gotten COVID and like a lot of my friends have. Ryan's fully vaccinated now, but I haven't had the opportunity to get vaccinated yet. But yeah,
Crazy times.
I know.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you said that though because I have my first COVID test from the show like in the other room. I have to take it today.
Yeah,
So thanks for the reminder.
yeah, I need to take mine. Ryan picked mine up from our office at our apartment building and it's in his car. So I have to take it.
Nice. um, Going back to NNL for a second, are you planning on competing in the regional coming up?
Yes, I'm going to try. It like all depends on work, really. But I'm
Okay.
going to try and go to the Midwest regional because that one actually is closer to me than my actual region.
Oh
Right
wow.
now
So where's that one happening?
in Columbus, Ohio,
Okay.
at Michelle's gym. And
Oh, awesome.
it's just because we're so tucked in the corner of Pennsylvania, like we're not close to, I think it's at Gravity Forge, right? I think so.
Yeah, Gravity Forge.
I think
The other side of Pennsylvania.
I think it's an hour and a half difference for
Yeah,
Midwest
it's
too.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it's all the way the other side of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Like that's Gravity Forge is kind of close to me. It's like an hour and 40 minutes for me, and I'm in New Jersey. So
And right now I'm qualifying for Worlds with points, which is super awesome. But I would still like to do
amazing.
a regional, possibly.
Yeah,
So I would go to the closer one.
awesome. So tell okay, so that's awesome. Where how many points do you have, and then where are you in the standings for your region?
I can look real quick. I think with points, like sometimes I would rather not qualify with points, but like if you do well at comps, it just happens. Like, and I haven't had a perfect season whatsoever, but I've done well enough that I
Yeah.
could.
If you podium a bunch of times and you do a bunch of comps, like you're gonna accrue a lot of points. And if you just keep doing it, then it's like
Yeah.
I feel like you'll be in that top 10 or top 5 at least.
Okay. I got lost on the NNL page, which is typical. It's kind of like a maze.
Sometimes I get confused between the standings and like the other one. There's two that are similar and I get mixed up whenever I go to the site.
Okay.
Feedback for you,
I'm
Chris Wachowski.
I'm third overall right now for all regions, but for Northeast, I'm in first with 116 points and 13 comps.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and then
That's so
Rachel
cool.
Diegitz is like right behind me too, and she has done 12 comps, and she's
Yep.
awesome. She's so strong.
So good. I love it. I love that I know all these strong ladies and I just like
I
I get so
know.
excited.
It makes me sad that I'm not closer to you guys because, like, I'd love to like train with you, but I'm just so far away in Pennsylvania.
Talking about NNL, like what do you feel like has been your strong point on the course competing in NNLs this year?
I don't know. It varies for every comp because there's either a good amount of women or there's no women, and like that's just how it is. But um, I think like it varies because I don't know how to word this. Like there's so many obstacles that like women kind of stop themselves on. They're like, oh, well, that's how far she got, and she's super strong, so I don't know if I can get farther than her. And they limit themselves. So it could be like just getting to that obstacle the fastest, and that's usually sadly how it goes. And but I feel like through grip, that's where I shine with the grip obstacles. I kind of get in my head about balance, like I said, but it depends on like the run order too. Like because with girls, like everyone can make it to the same spot, but you're the last runner, and you're like, okay, I gotta make it to the sixth obstacle the fastest. Like,
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, that's something I've talked to like Mary Lee and a lot about even on the podcast is just like how can we this is a big conversation, but it's like how can we make courses more fair between men and women of like it like are women always having the same thing where we're like always just like fastest to the same obstacle
yeah,
whereas like guys seem to more so be about clearing and like fastest to the clear. So is there a way that we could structure courses differently or like I don't know, like should we have separate courses? Should we not? Like this is a huge conversation, but
yeah,
yeah, that's something
that's
we've talked about a lot.
that's exactly what happened last weekend at Build a Machine Fitness in Buffalo, New York. There was four girls, and they're all so strong. Like everyone that was competing was so strong. There was actually more females than men in the elite division for that comp, which was awesome. But all three of us, first, second, and third, made it to the last obstacle, but it was just a matter of time. And it was we all did like really well. I think everyone was like happy with how they did because I've never personally hit a buzzer before.
Yeah.
So it kind of stung. I ran out of time. I was like, it kind of stung that I got all the way there and then it was right there and I couldn't get it. But it was
Oh, wow.
yeah. The last move was definitely the hardest part of the whole entire course.
Wow. That's really cool though. I mean, even just making it to the last obstacle feels so good to see how many obstacles you completed and like how far you made it. What
Yeah.
was the time limit?
2:15, I think.
Okay, so yeah. It's not very long. I mean,
Oh no,
I know there's
you
got
had to
I know
go
there
fast.
yeah, right. I was going to say I'm sure there how did the guys do? Like were there guys that cleared under that time?
There was three guys. Ryan and Aiden Wood both cleared in that time, and then I don't think the one guy. I think he fell early, but they like Ryan and Aiden both were like running out of time when they got there. Like we were all in the same spot, which
Gotcha.
was cool. Like as females, we were kind of the same
Yeah.
pace as the guys, but because we picked up the pace where they slowed down.
Nice. I like that. It's so interesting to me though to see like what are those differences what was there really a spot where like the girls were going quicker than the guys in like different spots?
There was a really tough balance line, and like the theme of their course was like stolen obstacles. So Liz, who designed all of them, stole obstacles from every comp that she went to this season and like secretly took stuff. And so there was like a whole balance line of like stolen obstacles, and it was like these things from Warrior Factory that like they were little wooden things that you had to walk on to their Weeble Wobble, which is like made out of carpet, and they're hard. And then to this little pill purple thing, and then to our obstacle from our gym that literally took out every single elite person, which we didn't mean to do. I think except one person. And it's like two PVC pipes like this, and then you have to walk on one side and it flips. And it's not a new obstacle, like it wasn't our idea, but it just took everyone out for some reason. And it was that. And I think the girls just went faster on that obstacle than the guys.
Interesting. So I love learning about the things. So it's just like, wow, facts.
Yeah.
No, because me and Mary Layton are getting ready to present a seminar at NNL Worlds. And also I think we're
Ooh.
doing one at NNL at Ultimate Obstacles for the, what is that, Northeast, or New England, I mean. And so basically, like on the podcast, we've had 10 episodes all about women in sports performance and looking at the physiological and biological differences between males and females and how that affects our performance on the course, and like how can we do better, basically, like what can we do to better support ourselves. So I just like love talking about all this stuff because it's like feeding into like what we're learning and what we're putting together in
It's
our
such a
like our
tough
research.
subject because like I personally like I train with a really really strong guy like 24/7, like try and keep up with him, and I think I keep up with him most of the time. Like there's a few things I'm like, you're insane, that's kind of crazy, I can't do that. But like there's that other part where it's like I physically wouldn't be able to do that. Like how would I be able to do that? But I also don't want to limit myself, you know, like maybe I could. Like it's so tough.
Yeah, no, I completely hear what you're saying, but I think that's exactly like where I was when we started the whole like process of interviewing professionals about it. Cause I was like, well, I don't want to limit myself or limit any other girl and say like, oh, we need separate stuff because we need it to be different. Like, I don't know. I didn't like the thought of it at all. And it was actually like Jess Lebrecq who had first brought it up to me of like, no, but are we limiting females because we're not giving them their own platform to shine on? And that was totally different for me to think about. And I was like, wait, what? That's like backwards from the way I was thinking about it. And so it was from that point that we started doing a lot of these interviews with other professionals. And yeah, it's just, it is like a delicate balance of like, how do you not like squash or like push down females and be like, oh, but you're never going to be as strong as the guys. Like that's not, I don't want to just say that. Like how can
Yeah.
we figure out how to better support women to allow us to excel and to see that like gap between the genders like lessen as we learn more and as we train in different ways. So there's like, yeah, so much to that conversation, but I'm really excited for Worlds to talk about this stuff in the seminar that we're preparing. So
Yeah, that's super exciting. Especially if Jessie Lebrecq brought it up, who is a woman that
yeah,
like consistently beats men like over and over again. And she's just insane. Like for her to come and say, like, no, we need a platform, like that's big.
exactly. And that's why it really caught my attention and made me think about it differently because I was like, wait, look, Just LeBrecq, like you're like you just like won for the women last season. Like what? But I get what she's saying. I get where she's coming from. And yeah, we're gonna have more episodes about that whole topic. But yeah, we're coming to the end of our time. But I wanted to jump in. So we have now on the Ninja Babes podcast, we have bonus content when you're a subscriber through Patreon. And basically the whole point of us doing this is because the podcast has been going strong for 3 years, but it can't go strong forever without people's support and without some sort of like financial backing. And so we started the Patreon just as a way for people to give back who wanted to support. And it's been really, really cool to see how it's growing and allowing us to do new projects now, like the Ninja Babes Insiders. I don't know if you've heard about that yet, but basically we're in the process of putting together this free group through the website where anyone in the entire world who's a ninja can upload tutorial videos and their own progress videos even of them doing obstacles. And so like for you, Jen, if you were like, I'm an expert at this crazy like grip endurance, whatever obstacle, if you build like a Ferris wheel or whatever in your gym and you're
Yeah.
like, I know how to do this and I'm going to like give you a tutorial video, you can like upload your tutorial video and then like other gyms, like girls or whoever at other gyms can like learn from your video and then like ask you questions, upload their own progress video. And just like we're building this interactive community and like platform for people to learn from one another all over the world. So it's pretty exciting because it's in like the beginning stages right now and it's not like open yet to the public, but I have people who are working on tutorials sending me their videos. And so I'm getting them from like Canada and like all over the
Oh, that's
country. And it's just like,
awesome.
yeah, I'm super excited. So anyways, that like people who support on Patreon, this is like the fruit of that. I have more ability to start to build these other things because we have this support. So the next part of the episode, we're going to jump into the bonus content that is Patreon subscribers only. So if you're not a Patreon subscriber, yeah, this is the end of the episode for the rest of the world. But Jen, before we finish, I wanted to ask, first of all, where can people find more about you and follow you on social media if they want?
My Instagram is, oh my gosh, I need to check. I think it's at Jenn with two N's, Stefano,
Do you,
Stefano. I'm
do you want
looking.
me to look it up really
I'm
quick?
checking. Yes, Jenn Stefano. Oh my goodness. JENN_Stefano. That's on Instagram. I'm dominantly on Instagram. I don't really use Facebook that much, but that's where you can find me.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Do you have any like last words or like advice that you would want to give to girls or women out there listening?
I need a minute to think. I think what I struggle with the most is like my mental strength. And like, if you have a bad training session, say, like, you don't really want to go in that next day and you're like, ugh, like, I don't know, like, I don't really want to train today. And you want to stay in that funk and your body wants to stay in that funk. And that's something I personally struggle with a lot. Maybe I didn't get a move. Maybe the whole training session was bad, or I just had a really bad day and you don't want to go into the gym. This is me here telling you, get up and do it because you're going to feel so much better. Even if you need that friend to say, hey, come in with me today, train with me today, or just go for a walk, move, and I bet you'll feel like 10 times better. It's just that hard step of getting up and getting that mental strength and getting your mental health back to get into the gym.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. That's so good. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Be you, be strong, be a ninja babe.
Woohoo! Thank you. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm so excited.